Ladies and gentlemen, Tesla stock today hit a high of almost $199 per share, and we do have some news to go over. I want to break down the option activity and everything you need to know about Tesla, but let me tell you right now, I think Tesla stock is going higher based on the technicals at the bare minimum. It looks really good. But before we get into all of that, let's start with what Adam Jonas just said about Tesla. Adam Jonas just released a new 10-page Tesla note. He says, quote, "We believe the humanoid opportunity is far bigger and faster adopting than autonomous cars, and we'll see a greater quantum of capital behind it. Tesla is at the epicenter of the theme. Investors may need to add new tabs to their Excel models." That's Adam Jonas basically saying you need to start evaluating Tesla differently. You need to start evaluating Tesla from a much larger total addressable market perspective, not just robotaxis, not just selling cars, not just battery packs, services, but also humanoid robots. And let me tell you right now, nobody's doing that. So if that does start to get factored into Tesla stock, even in the slightest bit, that could mean some massive upside for Tesla. Now, Adam thinks the humanoid robot addressable market is $30 trillion. If Tesla could just capture 10% of that market, simple math would say that's a $3 trillion potential opportunity for Tesla, let alone if Tesla captures more of that market. That would be just insane. You can't even quantify that in your head to think what a $3 trillion market would be for Tesla, let alone 30. That's just kind of insane. He goes on to say, quote, "In our US TAM model, we forecast a humanoid population, a cumulative and installed base of 8 million units by 2040, $357 billion of wage impact, and 63 million units by 2050, a $3 trillion wage impact. We believe that the humanoid time to commercialize will materialize faster than AVs, given the variability of the AV operating environment, real world, and corresponding safety implications with human passengers and pedestrians versus the humanoid form factor, which can learn in a geofenced domain, a warehouse, factory, closed work cells, so on and so forth. Even though humanoids have more physical outputs, the difficult operating domain, safety concerns, and regulatory scrutiny that autonomous vehicles face pushes their adoption curve out to the right in our view." So Adam Jonas here is basically saying self-driving cars, robotaxis more specifically, could take a while, whereas robots to actually be deployed in factories in geo-fenced areas doing specific tasks could actually happen in the not so distant future. Again, he believes the regulatory environment would be more favorable for humanoid robots versus self-driving cars, which is possible. I could imagine a scenario where it's relatively hard to get most cities in the US to adopt robotaxis. It's going to be a city by city kind of thing. The software will be able to run in any city, right? Once you're to that point, but it will be up to city by city by city by city to approve robotaxis. Some cities will, some cities won't. And I do believe this will probably go much quicker robotaxi wise in China. I think China will be sooner to massively adopt robotaxis, and that's even a larger opportunity than the US as far as robotaxis are concerned. So that would be a massive deal for Tesla in and of itself. Would probably 5x the stock from here just by itself. But the humanoid robots, it's nice to see somebody on Wall Street that is taking a notice of Optimus, and it's not valued into Tesla stock at all. It's purely upside at this point. It's like a lottery ticket with a good chance of, making you a lot of money. It could start to get valued into some Wall Street's models, right? Especially as rates do start to fall and as the perception of, hey, we're going to get a bunch of rate cuts starts. Maybe that's the economy weakens a little bit more. Maybe it's inflation continues to fall. And once Wall Street comes to this conclusion that rates are going lower and they're not going higher, that's where you can start to push out the time frame of some of these models, meaning a lot of people are just really looking at 2025 right now. They're not looking at 2026, 2027, let alone 2030. Whereas back in 2020 or 2021, Wall Street was really looking out like 5 or 10 years, and that was giving, extra valuations to companies. And that's the problem with what we've seen recently with rates going higher for longer, all of that. It's really forced a lot of Wall Street to dial back their longer term expectations, to not even think in a longer term time frame, but to think in the very short term. And this could be a big change. And if Elon Musk is correct and Tesla has a couple thousand bots working at their factories, let alone some shipments going out to other customers by next year, oh my gosh, it's going to get insane for Tesla stock. I would see no reason why Tesla would not at least be at all-time highs at some point next year. Morgan Stanley's Jonas goes on to say that he thinks Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot will initially cost between $50,000 and $60,000 to make. He says, quote, "We estimate Tesla's Optimus Gen 2 currently has a bill of materials in the range of $50,000 to $60,000 per unit, excluding software. However, with the benefit of scale, the introduction of AI algorithms to significantly shorten the R&D cycle, and the utilization of cost-effective components from China, we see opportunities for significant cost reduction to achieve CEO Elon Musk's targeted Optimus selling price of sub $20,000. I mean, if that doesn't get you excited, you should probably just sell Tesla stock now. Not financial advice, but humanoid robots, give it a couple of years, are going to be massive for Tesla. And I think Wall Street will again start to price in some of that in the not so distant future. It's being reported that Mercedes is investing more than previously planned on combustion engine technology, including $15 billion this year on its passenger cars, said their CEO. Tesla has started selling the dark Gemini Model Y wheel covers online for $45. So basically hubcaps. And it does look like Tesla is starting to discount the demo Model 3 performances in the US. Tesla's Megapack X account posted this image of a $350 million Tesla Megapack battery storage system built in Arizona, and or will be built in Arizona to help connect the power grid. Mercedes said this about Tesla superchargers, quote, "We are currently assessing how Tesla's latest announcements may affect our plans. We assume that Tesla will fulfill its contractual obligations, and we continue to aim for Mercedes customers to have access to Tesla superchargers later this year." It's being reported that Volvo has delayed the US launch of their $36,000 entry-level EX30 EV to 2025 from 2024 due to changes in the global automotive landscape. It's also being reported that still over 15,000 auto dealers can't access CDK software that runs everything from new car sales, finance, repairs to payroll, and it may not be back up until July. At the same time, US pending home sales hit a new 2020 low, or a new low since 2020. In May of 2024, US pending home sales unexpectedly declined by 2.1% month over month, contrasting with the forecasted increase of 0.5%. This downturn follows a previous month's decrease of 7.7%. The pending home sales index dropped to 70.8, marking a new low since April of 2020. The year-over-year comparison showed a decrease of 6.6%. Factors contributing to this decline include rising mortgage rates and high home prices, which have deterred potential buyers, myself included. I want to move and get closer to my mom and where my kids are going to go to school ultimately, but it's just expensive. I mean, the price is one thing, but the rate where it is a completely different story. And apparently the economy is surging despite jobless claims that continue to rise. The US economy experienced a 1.4% annualized growth rate in the first quarter of 2024, slightly higher than the previous estimate of 1.3%. Initial jobless claims for the week ending June 20 2nd were reported at 233,000, lower than the expected 235,000. Continuing jobless claims rose to 1.839 million for the week ending June 15th, marking the highest level since November of 2021. Genevieve Roche Decter post on X. It says U.S. Q1 GDP rose 1.4%, matching estimates, up from 1.3%, which was the last estimate, but that's a drop from 3.4% growth in Q4. Personal consumption rose 1.5% in Q1, down from 3.3% in Q4. She says the economy is slowing. The head of XPeng's self-driving center says Tesla's FSD may have difficulty handling small vehicles like motorcycles. Tesla China is rehiring some laid-off employees, requiring them to return N+3 with compensation. Tesla Economics on X says Tesla robotaxis will be a $5 to $7 trillion situation. Elon Musk said maybe higher. And it's being reported that Tesla Korea will officially deliver the Model 3 Performance starting tomorrow. Tesla's first ever showcase is coming to Penang, and this is in Malaysia. It says offering Pengangites an exclusive opportunity to experience Tesla's cutting-edge electric vehicle technology and the newly launched V4 supercharging stations. Tesla China's May production numbers have been released. Production came in at 67,309, and this compares to last month, which was 63,711. So production was actually up over 4,000 from last month. Retail numbers were up a lot from last month, though. Last month, retail came in at 31,414, and this month, retail came in at 55,215. Whereas, export is obviously falling. Export coming in at 17,358. And last month, you were at 30,746. So more Teslas that are made in China are being sold in China. And that could actually have a positive impact to margins as well, because what do you not need to do as much of if you're selling your vehicles where you're making your vehicles? Ship them. So that's quite a bit of shipping cost that should be saved by Tesla. Troy Teslike says he will tweet his final estimate for Tesla's Q2 deliveries on the last day of the quarter. He says deliveries this quarter are expected to be clearly less than the 466,140 units delivered in Q2 of last year, but more than 386,810 units in the last quarter. So you are going to be looking at a quarter-over-quarter growth, which the markets may actually like that. Raphael Bostic, president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, anticipates a rate cut in the fourth quarter of 2024, expecting inflation to reach the Federal Reserve's target of 2% by 2025, despite some colleagues on the Federal Open Market Committee adopting a more hawkish stance for 2024 rate forecast. Bostic remains a more dovish outlook. Aligning with the FOMC median forecast for one rate cut in 2024, he believes the breadth of price increases has fallen, indicating a promising sign for inflation, and emphasizes the need for patience to ensure inflation returns to 2% before initiating rate cuts. Yesterday, it was reported that electric hypercar maker Rimac today unveiled their robotaxi prototype called Vern. Begins operation in 2026, a two-seater, and uses Mobileye technology. The vehicle is level 4 fully autonomous with a 43-inch display and 17 speakers. Rimac has already signed agreements to launch it in 11 cities in the EU, UK, and the Middle East, and is negotiating with 30 more cities worldwide. Gary Black shares that post from Sawyer Merritt and says little reaction to yesterday's announcement from Rimac on the launch of their Vern fully autonomous unsupervised level 4 robotaxi to begin operation in 2026. The tech is supplied by Mobileye and uses a combination of cameras, radar, and lidars. On StockTwit, sentiment today for the SPY is bearish at 41. Yesterday, it was bearish at 44. Tesla's short interest is rising big time today, hitting a almost new high that you have not seen throughout 2024 at 3.82%. You have $21 billion currently sold short in the stock. We'll talk about this new information a little bit more in the next video, so stay tuned to the channel for that one. You do have 106 million shares that are currently sold short. It looks like you have shares sold short today of 2.74 million, covered shares of almost 600,000. That means on net you have about 2.2 million shares being sold short today. Option activity today by big money. Per the interesting flow sentiment, you have seen 14 different trades totaling $4.75 million with a positive order value of 67%. Some notable trades coming through, like this one being a June 20th, 2025 550 call worth $209,000, or this September 20th 220 call worth $224,000, or this July 19th 180 call, very short term, worth about $502,000. Trends data for the Tesla lineup is falling a little bit today, but still healthy overall. Really healthy, actually. This is like unusually high Google Trends data we've seen for months now. You do have the Cybertruck sitting at 72. You have the Model Y at 26, the Model 3 at 24, the Model S at 10, and the Model X at 9. And Google Trends data for full self-driving is sitting at 21 today, which is kind of where we've been trending ever since Tesla offered that free trial and the free trial ended. You've been trending in the low 20s, which again is a lot higher than where you trended in the past, which was really in like the mid-teens. Here today, the percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average is actually up 1.5% to 39.3%, which is a pretty good day. That's I guess that's an okay day. You do have over 61% of stocks in a downtrend trading under their 50-day moving average. So still the markets are not that strong overall. But today you are seeing a little bit more of a broadening out. Here today you do have the Russell 2000 that is outperforming, up 0.55%, the Nasdaq up 0.22%, the S&P up 0.03%, and the Dow is up 0.22%. The VIX is also down almost 1% today. CNN's fear and greed indicator is now at 46, which is neutral. Tesla is still running about 4,000 different ads with Google. Tesla's global inventory numbers are shooting up a little bit for the Model 3, back up to about 4,000, which overall is pretty good considering last quarter there were a lot of challenges over in Fremont with the production of the refreshed Model 3. You do have the Model X inventories at about 3,750. The Model S inventories at about 3,200, and the Model Y inventories that are actually falling a little bit, down to about 4,900. 10-year Treasury yields are down about 3.5 basis points today, down to 4.28%. Tesla's stock on a technical basis looks like it wants to continue to break out following the last 2 days of that upside move, including yesterday up 5%. Tesla stock is currently up at the time of recording this video, up 0.15%, butting right up to your $200 level of resistance. If you break above $200, yes, there's a lot of resistance there. The order book could get cleared out, and you could see a larger rally up at least to that 200-day moving average at about $206.57. And then if you break out above that, then you could rally well into the 220s, if not 230s or 240s. I do think you need to get July's 2nd delivery number out the way first before that does happen. So that is definitely something that we need to be watching for, and it does look like we have a inverse head and shoulders pattern that has formed on a longer term time horizon, which does tend to be bullish, and according to this indicator on Webull, that suggests Tesla stock could rally again well into the 230s, 240s, or 250s from here. If we do get downside from here, that level to watch is around 188, although at this point the markets want to go higher. Until we get a reason to go lower, I don't think we are. That could be data. Data comes out tomorrow with core PCE and a couple other data points that we will talk about a little bit more in the next video. So stay tuned to the channel for that one, coming out at 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to conclude this video. If you made it to the end of this video, hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.